Spring is here. Summer is right around the corner. Welcome back to the RDS, the Reedy DuPont Show. We're doing a recap video today about this spring. Heading into the summer, we're going to start it off right off the bat. As y'all know, springtime means what? Obviously, first, turkey season. But we're done with turkey season. We've already done a podcast on that. We've done a whole bunch of videos. Just past turkey season, before we hit the summer, I'm going to give y'all a second. Guess. Let me know if y'all can guess. Prime axis season. Prime axis season, I would say 90% of our bucks are summer bucks. You know, there's summer and winter bucks. So these bucks, they've been growing all, I would say starting in December, all late winter, all through spring. Some are still right now big velvet bucks, and then others are already hard-horned up for the summer. Why is it prime time? The rut is going on right now. Axis deer are completely different compared to like a white-tailed deer. The rut, when they breed, is right now. And so what does that mean? It means we've been hunting them. So we're gonna recap real fast. It was a 3-day, 2-night hunt after some giant axis. And I had so y'all know D-Tex Whitetails. We're running an outfitter business. We were running for a client that came down. He's like, hey, I'm looking for an axis. I'm looking for possibly a black buck. Can you put me on one? I was like, of course, right? Of course, that's what we do. The thing is, he wanted to get one with a bow, which was the first thing. And the second thing, it rained the entire time. So it was a little difficult, but we're just gonna recap a little bit. The first and second sit, we just did a lot of sitting in the ground blind. One spot where we're overlooking a lake, and we had a lot of movement in terms of animals, but no axis. We had turkeys, we had whitetail, which was pretty cool seeing those whitetail and velvet starting to grow a little bit. What else do we have? We saw some armadillos, we saw some coyotes, a lot of just random stuff other than axis came to those blinds. I think it was the first 2 hunts. And so that was like a morning hunt and an afternoon hunt. In between during the day, we were stalking. We were spotting and stalking. Guys, we put 40,000 steps. 40,000 steps in like 2.5 days. Crazy numbers. So basically, we'd hunt that morning. We'd come back, we'd have breakfast, and then I would be on my phone, like, gosh, I think I'd put like, I don't even know, it was like 7 hours on my phone just checking trail cameras constantly, whole bunch of different areas. I think I had like 15, 16 cameras up. Just, you know, everything's on instant, looking for axis to hit these locations. So we'd be, you know, eating dinner, or eating lunch, or eating breakfast, or doing whatever. I'd get a notification, oh, we have an axis. We would stop whatever we were doing and we'd try to get in location and spot and stalk this axis. Well, that first morning, we were, after that morning hunt, we decided to go glass this big open hayfield, probably 200, 300 acre hayfield. Glassing, I always saw a whole bunch of black buck, some turkeys and stuff. We're 500 yards away. And I get a notification, axis. And where's that axis? He's about 300 yards behind us at one of these locations, tight quarter location in this thick mesquite brush, South Texas brush. So obviously we've got the bow. We work in the wind. We had the wind to us, and we made the hike. It's probably, like I said, 300-400 yard stalk. We got in position. We had a visual of him, probably I would say 75, 80 yards away. But there was a whole bunch of trees, and we had to get within shooting area where we had a spot to get an arrow through the trees. If it was with the pew-pew, maybe a little bit of a different story. But with that bow, we had to get in close enough. We got about 60 yards. He spooked us really close to a draw, but we did not get it done there. We were walking back to where we were glassing that hayfield. We did have a coyote come running straight at us. Missed him. But I want y'all to remember, it's raining the whole time. Like, I don't know if y'all remember when this was. It was not very long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. It rained in Texas for like 3-4 days straight. That's when we were hunting. So then a next opportunity comes. We're spotting stocking another Axis. And this guy, tall frame, heavy Axis, we call him Big Bat Boy, because he just has like bats, like thick mass, just coming straight up. And he's just a spike. He's basically a spike. Call him Big Bat Boy. And we were on a stalk on him for a while, and we got within like 30, 40 yards, and then again, he spooked us. We were learning fast that even with the rain, these Axis could still pick up our scent, and we're still super, super elusive. So we had to change our game plan a little bit. We kind of decided, hey, we're going to stop on the Axis for a little bit. We're going to flip over to some black buck, and we started to get on the black buck, stalking them. The thing with the black buck is you'd have one buck, right? You'd have one big mature buck, and you'd have about, I don't know, 15 to 20 does surrounding him, right? Because they're obviously breeding too. And so when you're hunting that big black buck, it's not just that one black buck that you're worried about. It's the 20 to 40 eyes around him that are acting as basically a security guard for him, which makes it very difficult, especially with a bow. With all that being said, we got within 80 yards to one. Ended up he had a broken horn, so we passed on him. Oh, it was an awesome stalk. We got like 120 on another one. A little too far out of his range. He said around 60 to 70 he felt comfortable at. So we ended up backing out on both of those. And we're probably a day and a half in now. And he decided to make the decision, hey, let's switch it up. Let's pull out the rifle. Let's see if I can get a black buck on the ground. Then we'll switch back over to Axis with the bow. I'm like, hey, that sounds good for me. I think that's a good idea. Especially with these black buck, they're super, super hard to get with a bow. Because they absolutely love the hay fields, open field prairies, open field pastures, and it's very difficult unless you got some kind of cover where you can get them on the side, right? And so we switched to the rifle, and we made I'd say 120-yard stalk up on this hill where you was using the hills and the valleys within this big, big open hayfield, probably 400-yard hayfield, 400-acre hayfield. And we were able to get over this ridge, and there was this little cross low fence, right? I said, get up to that low fence, get in prone position, see if you can get an angle on him. He got up on that low fence. That buck was able to see him, but he didn't react in time before that rifle went off. And laying down, knocked him down. It was an awesome experience for me, awesome experience for the client. Able to get a black buck on the ground, day and a half in, super, super hype. That basically took a lot of the pressure off both of us in terms of not getting skunked, especially with this rain, guys. It was crazy, crazy rain, like crazy. And going into the Axis with the bow just took a lot more pressure off of us. And then it got to essentially the last morning, last day. We had about 5 hours. We woke up a little extra early to get in position last morning, and we went to a spot that we have not been the whole time we were hunting. And the only reason we decided to go there is because the night before we were heading back to the lodge, and we went by that location. We saw two big, giant mega Axis. And we were like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a blind 50 yards away from here. Why don't we go sit here in the morning? So that was the game plan going in. So fast forward into the morning, we get in that blind, right? And we're sitting 2-3 hours. Nothing other than, all I remember from that is the mosquitoes absolutely destroyed us. I'm like saying to the client, it's about 9-10 o'clock now. We got about 2 or 3 hours left. Let's get out and let's go check these hay fields, these open fields, and see if anything's grazing, maybe on the edge line, maybe something will be grazing on this grass, on this edge line of the fields. So we get out of the blind, and he's got the bow, and we do a walk. We probably 150 yards to the edge of this big food plot. Sorry, edge of this big hayfield. I'm glassing. Next thing you know, boom, 3 or 4 giant velvet axis. And I want to say 2 does, axis does, are with them. Herded up, grazing on the side of the hayfield, just as I anticipated. And I'm like, here we go. Here is our last chance. We've been hunting it hard for 2.5 to 3 days in the pouring rain, and this is our last chance. We put 40,000 steps in, and we have the opportunity sitting within probably 200 yards in front of us. So what do? We work the brush line. Imagine this is the big open field, right? This is the brush. We decide to work this brush line to close the distance. We get within probably 50 yards, but the only problem is we still got 50 yards of brush in front of us because they're on the edge of that hayfield. We start walking in that brush trying to close the distance. I would say we probably get 35 yards and they're kind of working, grazing around. And I'm like, hey, there's one hole right here where they're going to walk through and you're going to be ready to draw back, already be drawn back and take that shot. Well, as we're kind of moving around a little bit, we get a doe that picks us off and they all run right through that hole. I tell them to draw. I'm going, trying to get that buck to stop, and he just runs right through that hole. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. That's it. That was our last opportunity. It's over. We did our best. We did our best. It's game over, basically. So at that point, we go back. We get some breakfast. About to send the client out. We're literally eating breakfast. We're having eggs and bacon and sausage and hash browns, and I get a notification on my phone, and it says, instant photo from the lake. Instant photo from the lake. That's literally where we've been hunting the first 2 days, over that big lake, one of my prime spots for axis. Mind you, it's probably 11:30 now. Instant photo from the lake. I pull it up, and there is a giant axis sitting over this spot right on my trail cam. I'm like, giant axis. We have to go now. Because the thing that I noticed with these axes, they only stay for about 5-10 minutes and they're out of there. They are out of there. I promise you, they are out of there. We dropped our breakfast. We dropped everything. Luckily, we had nothing in the oven. And we hauled in the side-by-side to this location. We got out, ran another 400 yards because we didn't want to pull up with the side-by-side. Obviously, it would have scared them out. Ran another 400 yards across this field, got down to this gully where this lake was at, and I was carrying a gun, and I was like, do we want to switch to a gun? This is our last opportunity. I was carrying a rifle, and I was like to the client, do we want to switch to a rifle? This is our last opportunity. He was like, yes, let's do it. Switch to the rifle. I'll throw the video up. He's basically got the rifle on a bouncy little low fence, literally shooting across a lake, and it's about 175 yards, and he absolutely cooks his shoulder. Perfect shot placement. The buck kind of kicks up a little bit, does a double kick, gets off one leg and hauls into the brush. Well, we wait about 45 minutes. We start looking, we can't find anything. Absolutely no blood, no hair, no nothing. And you can see from the video, we've slowed it down 1,000 times. He hit him perfect. 2 more hours go by. The client's still here. We're still looking for it. And I'm like, hey, I've got a dog guy. You want me to call up a dog guy? I say to the client, hey, I've got a dog guy. I can call him up. It's going to cost him extra, but we can get this dogs out here. We can look for this axis. He's like, let's do it. I called dog guy up, and those dogs looked for 2-3 hours. End up finding where he was bedded down, but he was still alive. He ended up basically pushing him, and that buck ended up running another mile. The dog guy basically said that he thinks, as I showed in the video, he thinks he hit him a little high, and it wasn't as good of a fatal shot as we thought. I kind of disagree a little bit, but I mean, y'all can see it live and y'all can make your own opinion about it. But with that being said, I mean, these axes are hardy. They will take a bullet, they will take an arrow, and they'll run. Any exotics, honestly. And we also got 2 snakes while we were tracking 2 rattlesnakes. I almost stepped on 1 rattlesnake, but ended up not getting it done with the axis. Although we did get an opportunity, we ended up not able to find them, which was very unfortunate. But it is what it is. That's hunting. We did our best. Guys, we looked for 5-6 hours, and we ended up finding them. The dogs found them. They were howling, and they got them on location. And ended up pushing them like a mile, and we haven't seen him since. He hasn't shown up on camera. We haven't seen any kind of buzzards flying around, so we don't know where this buck went. And so that's how that kind of story ended. We did get the black buck, which was great. We did have an opportunity on the axis, which was great. Weren't able to finish the job on the axis, which kind of sucks, but that's part of it. And overall, great experience. And we are now moving forward to summertime. We're watching all these whitetail grow out, and we're very excited. D-Tex Whitetails this coming fall is going to be a great time. If you want to book a hunt, shoot me a message on Instagram or D-Tex Whitetails. Shoot a message. We'll get you booked up for this coming fall. But we got some big bucks growing. Big bucks growing. We've gotten a lot of rain here in Texas past week, and I think it's gonna be a heck of a season. I said last year was a heck of a season. I think this year's gonna be a heck of a season. That's all I got for y'all. RDS show. That's all I got for y'all. The Reed DuPont show. Appreciate y'all watching. Subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll see y'all in that next episode. Peace.